Hello everyone and welcome back to a video. Today's video I thought I would go over, I think the current state of Grand Crosses. What I mean by that, I mean we're going to be going over, the fact that we're getting festival after festival after festival. The only real main banners we're getting are festivals and collabs, which are the most expensive banners in the game. And what we could expect, stuff like that, gameplay, and sort of my reasoning behind why I think they're releasing so many festivals back to back to back. And, yeah, so first let's get into the current main hot topic, which is the current fact that we're getting festivals and collaborations back to back to back to back to back. And let's explain. So, every single time we have now, this is brand new, we have a festival or collab, we get 300 diamonds. 120 of that is in tickets. 30 of that you get from login, and then 10 of it you get from doing challenges, which then means you get 180 diamonds worth of diamonds from login as well. So if you were to then factor in that, a festival or a collab lasts for about 4 weeks, you're looking at, another, let's say 100 diamonds a week, which is what you should be getting. I'm calculating you being in Champ 5, which is the lowest rank you should be in, because if you're not in Champ 5, you need to grind for it, because it's kind of needed. So that's an extra 400 diamonds, so you're looking at 300 diamonds, which you can get within those 2 weeks. That does not include any events. So that ends up being 700 diamonds that you can get from login, as well as you doing your dailies and getting Champ 5 in a PvP every week. And then all you really got to do then is make up 200 diamonds worth through events. Let's just say Chaos PvP's on. I'm going to say you get 50 diamonds from Chaos PvP, right? Because if I say you get 100, it's the top 1%, which I wouldn't recommend anyone going for, because it's the most boring grind of your life. It's not worth it. I wouldn't even do it. And I say 50 because then, let's just say, your top 10% you get 40, your top 30% you get 30, right? There's not that much of a difference, rather than me saying, your top 1% and you get 100. So you get 50 on top of that. That's a 2-week event, so then I have more events on top of that. You also then got, even just in most recent news, like, look at this boss. This is like your general boss, where you get like crappy rewards at the end. We go to the challenge, we get 10 diamonds at the end, which is good. And then, of course, if Hero Arena's on, that is basically 60 diamonds split over 6 weeks. That is because I recommend you do Master Mode, because it is the easiest, of course, unless you want LR coins really quickly, which you don't really need, because they give out LR coins quite often, so it's not too bad. So that's another 60 diamonds, so on and so forth. But what I like to do is I like to calculate things on a 2-banner basis. So what I do is I add up the values of 2 banners and think, okay, this is the amount of diamonds you can make by playing the game. Let's say you get 300 from logins, and then you get 400 from just playing the game, doing all your weekly stuff, right? 2 festivals back to back would equal 1,800 worth of pity. I calculate in pity because it's easier. We get 1,400 of that from doing your dailies and from the rewards they give us. That means you've only got to make up 400 diamonds, which I know it sounds like a lot, but this is over 8 weeks. You can make 400 diamonds through events. Yes, it does sound like a lot, but this is where it gets kind of crazy. Let's just say there's a collaboration. So there's a festival, then a collaboration. A festival is 900, a collaboration is 600. That means the total is 1,500, where we still get 1,400 worth of pity between those 2 banners. So what that means is that if you want to do a rotation on either of those banners, you've only got to make up 100 diamonds worth of diamonds through events, and that's within 8 weeks. That's a long time to make 100 diamonds. You can farm achievements, you can farm affection, you can level up SSR gear. You've also got just the general events that we have. Chaos Mode, Labyrinth, Hero Arena, bosses. We just randomly get it. Even Final Boss, if we eventually get another one. I don't know when we'll get the next one, but it's not really a problem. I feel like it now just means you have to be more smart with your diamonds. People who are stupid with their diamonds, let's say, this new Merlin. You really, really badly want this new Merlin. Yes, she's not the worst character, and she's actually quite good. But you have to think about it. If you summon on this Merlin, let's say you have to go 600 to get her, because average Grand Cross luck, that's going to basically put you an entire collaboration behind. Let's say we already know the next banner's a festival. It's Ragnarok, right? So, boom, that's 900 diamonds, so on and so forth. But I do believe that, yes, they have basically increased the amount of diamonds we need per, month-to-month basis. So, of course, you need 1,800 per 2 months now if you want to just summon on the big banners at the end, which is a lot more than what it used to be. It used to be 1,500, because what they used to have is what I call dead months, which is there is a festival, next month is like a crappy Ragnarok character that no one cares about, or it's a crappy catastrophe character that no one cares about. But they don't do that anymore. They just do festival to festival to festival to collab, which is not really what you want. But it's not too bad, and I feel like there's a reason why. It's quite an obvious reason. So, with the introduction of UR-based characters, which is the first base new rarity of character to be released, it's always been SSR, and you could say, oh well, there's LR. LR is not a base rarity. You have to obtain an SSR character to upgrade them to LR. These UR-based characters are just straight away out of the box. They're UR. They're like broken. They're normally the best of the best. And the problem is that when you create such a large like power creep, we're talking like 4,000 CC power creep. We're talking higher than the highest LRs, right? And LR we thought was crazy amounts of CC. Melee even higher. New DK Melee even higher. And because they're adding these new power creeps, they have to keep up with it. If they don't keep up with it, the characters aren't going to be that good. And of course, you could fight the argument, oh, we've had no UR-based collaboration characters. But that's because collaboration characters are always future-proof. They always have a little bit, or at least a few of the characters in it, have a little bit of future-proofing in them, just so they can, last a little bit longer. For example, Vittoria, 73,000 CC with HP defense, which means that she out-CCs, I think, a few of the LRs. I think Lilia, Zeldris, Liz, I know she definitely out-CCs Liz, and I think maybe Galland as well. I mean, she out-CCs a lot of them, which is future-proofing. So, I mean, you still can run her on a high CC team and still go first, of course, because these UR-based characters have lots of CC, and that's the problem. Because they have so much CC, you sort of have to run these UR characters to go first. And yeah, that could be a way to make people summon, and maybe that is what they're doing. They're making these UR-based characters to make people summon. But in my opinion, it's so the power creep isn't so extremely noticeable. It's not like Melee has been meta throughout the entire time of his release. He has been, but it sort of makes it a little bit less noticeable when you've got, you had Arthur. Gotha technically made Sins a little bit better, but then, of course, Escanor came along, made Sins even better. Of course, we do have the new Sabnak, but she's unknown, and the only good thing about her being unknown is that she gets the support of all the boosted collaboration characters that are sort of power crept to a degree, to a point where they're just below the latest UR-based characters, but they can, CC-wise, they can still power as much damage, if not more. Vittoria is an extremely good example of that. Gloss is also quite good as well. I feel like Gloss got a little bit overshadowed by Vittoria, but Gloss is still quite a good character. CC is also quite good as well. But what could we expect? So, of course, we have the upcoming Ragnarok Festival that is probably going to be Tonar. Tonar is the Thor, basically, and it's pretty obvious. It was leaked in the chapter that was leaked like, I want to say nearly a year ago, maybe like 10 months ago, and it's basically leaked Tonar's the next character, or Thor's the next character, and it's Tonar. Tonar is Thor. That was also exposed in the chapter as well. So we're probably going to get another variant of Tonar. That will be, of course, Thor. Also, the cool effect on her weapon may have slightly given it away, but we're not going to talk about that. Also, the fact that it's shaped like a lightning bolt, but a little bit of attention to detail. I like it. But what else could we expect? Collaboration-wise, we couldn't really expect anything. Could be a Jobless Reincarnated rerun, but I think they're going to let that linger probably a little bit. Maybe do that towards the end of the year. I wouldn't expect Stranger Things. I think Stranger Things will be an off collaboration. What an off collaboration is, let me explain to some people that don't know. Our collaborations that do not fit the time releases of our collaborations, which is April, August, and October, end of October. There are collaboration sort of window slots. Everything else is an off collaboration. Tower of God, what normally an off collaboration is, let me just explain a little bit further, is a collaboration that Netmarble basically already had the go-ahead for. Tower of God, they own a Tower of God game. Stranger Things, Netflix owns the 7 Deadly Sins, so it's easy contact, they can just do that. KOF is technically an off collab, but was in a collaboration position, but I believe KOF, in my opinion, does deserve that collaboration position. And of course Maeve, which is their AI idol group thing, but no one cares about that anyway. But what collabs could we expect? Anything Isekai. Emerson Shadow has collaborated with more things recently. There was announced that a Fate collaboration is happening with Star Rail, so I guess Fate's technically now on the table as well. If it's going to collaborate with Star Rail, I don't think they'd be opposed to collaborating with Grand Cross. It's basically anything. I feel like they're probably then in their next few collabs, they're going to end up stepping out of their comfort zone, because currently, unfortunately, their comfort zone is just Isekai collaborations, which it's a good thing, right? Isekai has a lot of like comedy and stuff like that, But then you get kind of restricted after you've done a lot of the big names. You know, you've done Shield Hero, you've done ReZero, you've done Jobless, you know, you've done Overlord, you've done all these big isekai names, and you've done Slime. You know, there's not much left you can do without doing a rerun of a rerun, and still then, they've then got to figure out the problem of having too many good characters or too many collaboration characters on one banner. Of course, in my opinion, what I think they would do, they would split up the banner. So you'd have the 2 new characters, the 2 rerun characters. So basically you'd have all the rerun characters on one banner and then all the original characters on another banner. And that's my way of doing it, because I feel like putting 8 collaboration characters on one banner is too broken, which I feel like they might not do a rerun of a rerun for a little while. I do think the first collab that will get a rerun of a rerun will be ReZero. It is probably the oldest collab that I feel like could deserve it, or KOF. Either of those two. KOF game is shutting down, so maybe in November we'll get like a sort of like a send-off collab. I think that'd be pretty cool, and I would like that much. But currently, the collabs that I see are in the high possible range. You have Konosuba, because of course Season 3, half decent, it recently ended. Eminence in Shadow still brings in views, still a very popular show, would make lots of money. They already have also access to lots of the voice actors already for both shows. They could maybe decide that they want to go a little bit, to push their boat out, maybe go for... I don't really know what game what show they could push out for. Like, yeah, you know, you can say, oh, Demon Slayer, stuff like that. But unfortunately, I feel like it would be quite hard to do. Because, of course, they have to sort of think, okay, what characters do they add? What do they do? What do they do? Well, this, and that. And, you know, a show like Demon Slayer has never actually collaborated with any other game. Of course, you have ones like Chainsaw Man who have collaborated with Nikke, so I do feel like it is a possibility. I feel like it's more the money rather than anything else to collaborate with them. I do feel like if they want to go for more hype and more recent, Gokaiger number 8, an extremely popular show, would do highly well as a collab. I do feel like it would suit Grand Cross actually quite well. For upcoming festivals, for just generally, I feel like we could see Four Knights, maybe see Lance, probably towards, I reckon, September we could see Lance, which would be quite cool. Because I feel like Lance is really one of the few characters that really deserves a festival from Four Knights, at least at the start. And then, of course, I do feel like we'll see probably like grown up, like teenager Tristan, maybe as the New Year character. Because of course we had Melee, and unless they want to go with King Melee, which they could do, we have Demon King Melee. They could also go for King Melee as well. But I feel like they may end up switching it up and going for Tristan, sort of like Demon Tristan, Demon Goddess Tristan that we see in the first season. But anyway, that's really it. Yeah, you know, hopefully we see some half-decent collabs. I don't want them just chugging some random collabs in there. Solo leveling, of course, they could do as well. I forgot about that. Solo leveling, of course, they do own a solo leveling game, so it could even be an off collaboration. So they might do, you know, an actual proper collab. Let's say they do Eminence. Using the word proper collab, I mean a collaboration where they have to speak to the IP and get the IP's permission. They own solo leveling. It's a different thing. And then, of course, do a solo leveling as an off collaboration, which would be quite cool. Have 2 quite good collabs back to back would be quite nice. Well, not back to back. You know, would actually be quite cheap. But, you know, within due time. But anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments about, you know, the current state of Grand Cross, the diamond system, you know, something on festival, and what collabs we could see in the future. Goodbye.